Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Page of Swords podcast. This is episode 15 with Heather Munson, and I am super excited to bring her on. Now, Heather, how long have you been competing?
So, I've been competing since 2006. No, I take that back, 2005. But I took a break because I was mom. So, took about 5 years off in between when I first got started and did the mom thing as they were little and really was devoted to that. But I was always a bodybuilder, still a bodybuilder during the whole time. So, just didn't compete.
Okay, I was going to say I have the NPC website open, and it looks like 2015 you did Northern Classic as your show, and you did women's physique and women's bodybuilding. So you started women's bodybuilding right off the gate, right?
Oh yeah, no, and that I was in bodybuilding before women's physique came out. And it was funny because where women's bodybuilding was going, especially when they took it out of the Olympia, I was kind of in a position where I was trying to make the move to women's physique, trying to see if my freaking beefy frame could fit. And I did really well in women's physique when I dual enteried, but it's still, I'm just too big. I mean, it's not, so yeah, it definitely isolated the whole choice of which direction I was going to take, which was body.
So did you have a coach for that show?
Yes, I did.
Who did you start working with right away?
So I started working with Noel Fuller for that show, for those couple shows, because I did 2 shows. Actually, it was 2014 that I got back into it. I did 2 shows in 2014, and then I did 2 shows in 2015, and then I started going into the shows.
It only goes up to 2015, so anything before that, was it NPC? Maybe they just don't have it on record or anything.
Yeah, shows. It was the same shows. I did 14 shows, and I worked with Noel then. And then in 2015, I actually worked with Erica Blockman. She's a women's physique pro who worked with Shelby, who's my coach now. And that was my big move to want to work with Shelby, just because I did so well with essentially was probably the diet that he had her on. And so very similar. And I like that approach. So
yeah, Shelby's a great coach. I follow him, and I mean, he's definitely known for getting girls shredded, and he loves working with you female bodybuilders, definitely.
Oh, he's amazing. He's really amazing, and he knows what he's doing. He's very calculated.
Yeah, very smart and intelligent. I really like listening to some of the videos that he puts out and everything. What show are you getting ready for then right now?
Nationals in 2 weeks.
Okay. So yeah, you're going to be going out to Charleston for that?
No, this one's in Orlando. It's
that's right.
Yep, it's usually in Miami.
That's right.
It's Orlando this year. So I will be I've done this show 2 other times. It was actually my first national show I did where I placed 3rd. And then last time I did it, I got 2nd. So I'm hoping this is the number 1 spot. So
yeah, I remember following you for the last national show, because you did that with Cammie, right?
I did.
Both did that show together. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how was your experience then with the national shows? So you said you've done the Miami show twice, right? The nationals. Okay. So you obviously like that show, right?
Yeah. Great show. It's run really well. It's actually notoriously known for being like the biggest national show. I don't know what it's going to look like, obviously COVID times or anything like that. But I mean, good competition shows up, big girls show up. I remember my first time doing it, there were 10 girls in my class, which is huge for bodybuilding. So it was.
And now that the Miss Olympia is back, I feel like the women's bodybuilding is definitely going to be bigger now. So
we already have a lot of the women's physique competitors that are kind of transitioning over now, which is cool. I mean, it's awesome. I love that our sport is really, or our division is really kind of ramping up again. It's kind of coming to life thanks to Wings of Strength and Jake and everybody. They've been awesome. So yeah, we're fortunate.
You do a lot with Wings of Strength, right? You guys do a booth and everything.
Yeah. I'm with the strength athletes, and It's probably the coolest experience ever, like for any competitor. I mean, they take such good care of their athletes. It's really the best sponsor you can have, you know, when it comes to well, any division. It's just a great sponsor. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm happy to see what Jake has done for you ladies and for the sport overall. That,
Oh,
I mean, yeah, so is nationals, is Wings of Strength doing anything with nationals, or that's just
so
with
one isn't a show. They did Miss International, which is Chicago Pro,
Mhm.
and I did last year, which it's another great one. I mean, anytime you can do a pro-am and have such a huge professional show there too, it's awesome. But they don't do nationals. But yeah, I mean, it's still an amazing show. They do a great job.
Mhm. Yeah, I've heard good things because I think they're starting to pop up in more shows, and I've been hearing really good things that they do set up the shows really well.
Yes.
So, so nationals, you've done it twice or three times?
Nationals twice, and I've done
Twice.
Miss International.
So, what was your feedback from the first time?
So I needed to work on my back, and
Oh.
that's always, yeah, that was a big focus for me.
Mhm.
Conditioning is always a focus. And that's, you know, that's the trick, is coming in conditioned enough, not losing your shape, not losing the illusion, and obviously not flattening out. So I think this year definitely will be my best conditioning yet, and
Mhm.
maintain size. So, and I've been working on my back a lot. So hopefully the ticket to win.
Yeah,
So
girl, I watch your training. I know you hit it hard. Yeah. um, so in some of your videos, and maybe you can try to explain this too, the difference between, I think you said before that you're trying to think of the word, where you're just someone who naturally holds on to a little bit more. I don't know why that word's just slipping out of
and
my mind.
I'm a
Yeah.
total endo.
Yeah.
So my,
So can you talk about that a little bit for anyone that maybe doesn't always
yeah.
understand what that means?
So there's 3 different body types. There's ectomorph, which is a hard gainer.
Mhm.
So naturally very fast metabolism, usually like lankier, smaller. And obviously they struggle to put on size. And then you have a mesomorph that is kind of a genetic freak. They do a really good job getting on, you know, getting good muscle. And then they don't generally hold too much fat. They're have a good metabolism, but they're able to put on size. And then you have the endomorph, which is the other side of the spectrum, which we have a great propensity to put on size, and we can get huge, but we have to be very careful about our body fat.
Mhm.
So that's the reason in my off seasons, I'm very, very disciplined still.
Mhm.
I have to really focus in on staying pretty lean as I possibly can in an off season.
Mhm.
Otherwise it's just too hard, because I already have a long enough prep as it is,
Mhm.
but to really get dialed in and conditioned for me. And I hold a lot of water.
Mhm.
So that's another part of it too, which endomorphs do. So
I feel like I might be that way too. I'm not really sure. I don't know how you really quite figure that out unless you just kind of go off of the signs. But no, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know. I always thought it was just because of my desk job that I really like can't go overboard with cheat meals or anything like that. Like, I'm just always like someone who, like, I've made my mistakes in an off season and had too many cheat meals, but then you, you know, you learn as you go, and you know that it's just better to just try to maintain. And I always I just started my prep, so 20 weeks out. Are you about the same with how far you're out?
I start even further out than that, but
Okay.
that's minimum with my girls, especially if they're a first time client of mine. I always have them at least 20 weeks out. And that's good for hormones and making sure that you have a good understanding of their physique, because sometimes they can be a combination of a couple body types. They can be an endomeso, they
Mhm.
can be an ectomeso, you know, there's that chance too. And that's why analyzing is so important, especially in having a coach that does that for you, so that they know how to refeed, how to structure your diet, how to do everything, how to, like, you know, for instance, with me and a lot of endomorphs, we have to do cardio right out the gate. You know,
Yeah.
there's no, you know, because we actually have to move and have that output.
Mhm.
It's not diet. You know, some people get lean just by dieting. Endomorphs notoriously have to move, have to have output.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
So you're in your off season doing cardio too, because I'm the same way, but I'm just curious, like so for an off season, what's about your
Usually
cardio regimen?
week, 3 to 4 days a week, depending on how my body's looking. Yeah. But it'll only be like maybe 20 to 30 minutes. It's not going to be doing anything intense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you save that for prep when you like really need to use your ammo.
Yeah. And you don't want to become too conditioned to it, but it's definitely necessary for me. And it just keeping my metabolism firing, but also keeping my appetite where it needs to be as well. You know, making sure that I'm doing what I need to on the diet side of it. So.
Are you someone, do you have a hard time eating or?
My job and with what I do for a living and just being a mom and everything, I have to be very structured and literally like setting my alarm to make sure I'm eating. Now I'm in prep, like I'm in pretty like the end phases where I'm just starving all the time. So I don't need to do that. I don't need it. I just eat whenever I possibly can, but which is not very frequently. But in the off season, I get totally carried away, and it's, you know, a little bit more food. It's not a ton more, so I have to actually be a little bit more on top of that, so that and making sure my metabolism is firing really, really well, and my appetite is where it needs to be, so that I'm able to get the food down.
Yeah, and I agree that I do notice that some people do struggle with that they realize they're not eating enough, and then they don't understand that eating is what makes things work, and you have to work with that and make your body realize, like, listen, you're going to have to keep up. I need you to.
Yeah. No, it's like I totally tell it people when I'm explaining the importance of meal frequency. I always use the analogy of having a bonfire. Like you throw little pieces of log to keep it going really well. But if you let it die down, like a lot of people do, they only eat once a day or something like that. Their metabolism is shit. So I don't know. Okay to curse on here, but yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what people end up doing. And then their body just stores it. So I have to really remind them that consistency is everything, especially like my working moms, anybody that has a crazy lifestyle. It's really important. So.
Yeah. And I know you were talking about you being a mom. How many kids do you have?
I have two.
Two. Okay. So I know that you got this question recently, and I think that's a really good question that, you know, you're someone who has a full-time job, you are competing, you're doing all of the things, and you don't have excuses, you get it done. So how are you doing all of this? Like,
yeah, that's, so this is probably the number one question I get DM'd. Well, other than the really perverted ones, those are fun too. But, but this one by far, like from single moms, especially because they know I'm a single mom. And it comes down to time management, really, really structured time management. But I also put it in a way, like the mental health aspect of it is a lot of moms in general, and even a lot of just very career focused people have a tendency to just put all of their eggs on one basket. And they're like, you know, I need to be so good at being a mom, or I need to be so good at this. And so they put everything into it, and then they don't take care of themselves for shit. And then you can't output something that you don't have. So meaning if they're not taking care of their bodies, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not going to have that to give back. And so I keep reminding them, make sure your tank is full before you're trying to run it out. And that's where it comes into being selfish with your time, not necessarily taking away from anything, but, you know, waking up at 5, doing your fasted cardio. It's really, I mean, there's tons of studies that have shown that your mental health will increase dramatically by starting off your day, something like that, having a healthy breakfast, getting hydrated, doing these things, and then just consistently making sure you have a routine that's caring for your body. You know, it's like we do maintenance on our car, we do all of this stuff, but you have to do the same thing for your body. So that's the way I put it with all of these moms. How do you make time? And like, personally, I don't want to break down. Okay. My body is my temple. And I also want to look hot as long as I possibly can. So I'm going to put effort into it for me. And then also better for my kids. I can be a better role model for my kids. I can show them that they can follow their dreams and do everything they want. But they have to be structured and they have to be disciplined. That's the name of the game. That's how life works.
Definitely, definitely. And it sounds like your kids are probably very supportive and everything, like, because
Yeah.
you've done a lot of shows, so they
Yeah.
know what it's about. They know when mom's in prep, huh?
Oh yeah. Since they were babies, they totally, and my daughter the other day actually said, I don't ever want you to not be a bodybuilder. That'd be weird. And
That's adorable, though.
yeah, and I was like, and she's like, I don't want you to be normal. I'm like, don't worry. I'll never be normal ever.
Do they
So
play sports or anything?
yeah. So I played collegiate softball at Oregon. And my daughter actually started playing softball when she was 8. So she's really good at it. My son does track and he does wrestling, and then he plays guitar, and he's also big into acting. And my daughter is in choir, and she's also an artist. They're amazing kids. They're just all over the place.
That's awesome
So
to get them in all those activities and keep them busy. And I'm sure, I'm not a parent, but I'm sure like it's good to hear that you're giving them all these options to be like, you can do whatever you want, just like mom is a bodybuilder.
yeah, I don't care. Just be happy and pursue it with everything you got. Like that's the way we kind of do it. I'm like, hey, if you want something, just give it your all, and go after it. That's how it goes. So
So you're in Washington State, right? You're like on the border with Oregon and everything. So what's the bodybuilding scene out there? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know much about Washington except for I've heard it rains a lot.
yeah. It does. It rains a ton. It's actually raining right now. Yeah. Where are you again?
I'm in Pittsburgh,
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
oh my God, it's late there. It's like 10:30. Anyways,
I know.
so yeah, it's actually a really, really awesome scene out here. The Northwest, I mean, I was approached by 3 bodybuilders when I was in college, and that's how I got into it. I was playing collegiate softball. I was kind of a brick house because I was powerlifting and, had no shape for anything because I was powerlifting. But they were like, damn, your legs are huge. And that's how I got into it. Well, I totally entered into this whole community. Like the community here is amazing, both in Oregon and Washington. I mean, it's pretty all tight knit and everybody knows everybody. But and we've had a lot of really successful pros come out of this area, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Plus you're not too far from California. Well,
Exactly.
Florida, it's a long state, but I'm sure they kind of migrate up a little bit.
12 hours we can be there. It's fine. Yeah.
Do you ever go down there or like?
Yeah. Actually it's not that far, I should say. I mean, you can get to Northern California in like 6 hours, but yeah, I have a lot of friends down there. I don't ever drive, although it would be a fun road trip. But yeah, down to LA. I've been down to San Diego several times. Obviously the bodybuilding scene is crazy in California, so it's fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's your gym like? I know I've seen the videos it's the one with the green machines. Is that the one that you're going to?
O'Malley's, yeah. So some of my very, very close friends own it, and they've done such an amazing job. It is like the bodybuilder's dream. It's huge. It's got a section just for powerlifting. It's got a ton of cardio. It's got a ton of crazy equipment, like all the good stuff that you're like, damn, I just want to play on it. Like it's so cool. So, and plenty of area for posing. I actually have a photo shoot there tomorrow. That's where I did a photo shoot. So they're really awesome. They pretty much let us do whatever we want to do. So it's really cool.
That's good. Yeah, it looks like a cool gym to get some photos in and everything.
It is.
You coach too. Are you doing like in-person coaching?
So I mean, obviously I do have some local competitors and local lifestyle clients, but I don't do training. I don't do one. I have a full-time job,
Right.
but so coaching, obviously they have full access to me. And I'm pretty communicative with all of my clients throughout the week, but then we have weekly check-ins and go through everything. I do both, like I said, competitors and lifestyle, and I do posing as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have been following you for quite some time, and I think I know you through Cami too, which I know she does like the same thing, but it's more full time. And
Oh yeah,
you've got. I mean, it is amazing how you're able to do all of this. Like I always feel like I can never bitch and complain because I'm like, there's a single mom out there getting up, doing her cardio, eating her food.
or both at the same time, whatever she can do. Yeah, no, but that's kind of the way I look at it too. I mean, somebody's always got it harder, and they're probably pushing harder than I am. So I better stop being a vagina about it and just do it.
You just do the damn thing. And plus, I mean, working with Shelby, that has to be motivating too, because I know how those other girls look, and I'd be like, oh, you know, I gotta look like Shelby's other girls too.
Yeah, I gotta level up. Yeah, no, it's honestly, I'll never go back. Because I've been training, or I've been working with him now for, it'll be a year in December. And so I'll stay with him after my show and go in my off season with him and everything. He's amazing. Totally incredible.
Now, was Nationals the show that you had planned to do all year, or was there anything that got canceled?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like started prep in like January. Yeah. So obviously we've had to make adjustments, because I was originally going to do USA's in July. Okay. When USA's was still in Vegas in July. That was the original plan. Obviously that didn't work out. So then I was going to do North Americans, and then we were unsure about going on. And then we pushed it to potentially doing Miss International again. But then we just decided, let's just do nationals, just because we were so unaware of like, what was going to happen with everything. And I had a lot of stress. I had a ton of stress this year too. So, I was like, hey, I'm in no rush to like force this. Let's just, do what we need to do. So, and he's so about no problem, whatever we need to do, switch gears, we're totally fine.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure he definitely understands. You never want to force a competitor to do a show, or, he knows. He definitely knows.
He's amazing. He's such a cool dude. Yeah, for sure.
And, I don't think we talked too much about your job yet, but you did just start your new job this year, right? With Zoe?
Yeah. So I'm in, I've been in medical sales and pharmaceuticals forever. It's been like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I literally was recruited by Zio like right before quarantine, and hired on, and I literally, it was just slammed. Like I started, then we were quarantined. I hadn't even gone to training. Like everything just happened all at once. So I had to do everything virtually. And so it's been super stressful, and I love the company. I love the products, obviously. I mean, super blessed, but it's so much work. And considering that we've had to be so flexible in our approach with everything. Mm-hmm. And then on top of everything else, all the other stressors, it was just like, geez. So it's been a year. It's been crazy.
Yeah, I would assume, are your kids doing the homeschool stuff right now? Yeah.
They are.
That's a lot. Are you working from home?
No. Okay. No, I'm actually in the field most days, and that's why it's really tricky. Thankfully, my kids are a little bit older, so they're more independent, and I can just check in with them and make sure they're doing everything they need to do. But unfortunately, because the school systems were not obviously aware that this was going to happen, it's not very organized, and that's something that I've had to try to figure out with a lot of the teachers to make it work for the kids, because I'm working full time. I can't come home and be a tutor, nor am I good at it. I'm shit at it. Okay. So I'll be the first one to admit I'm like YouTubing how to do this stuff, because it's not the same stuff that I learned. So I'm like, I'm good. Move on. So yeah.
You're focused on your new job, trying to learn the new job stuff. And you're like, wait, I got to revert back to like several years ago when I was in school.
No. Not even the same. I'm like, that's not long division. I swear to Christ, that's not long division. So, and on top of it, I'm in prep, so I have prep brain. So I'm like, I smell the color 9. I don't know what's happening. So it's really bad right now.
I understand. And it's good that you're able to kind of find a way to somehow relax, I guess,
I mean, I kind of, yeah, it's more just I fall asleep at night. I'm like, I get everything done. I check all my boxes, and then that's my favorite time. I'm just like, okay, now I'm done. I'm done.
I'm asleep. Now that you're into your job with the skincare, I mean, have you been learning a lot? Did you already know a lot with skincare, or are you learning?
Yeah. So, it's interesting because I was actually, because I've worked in hospitals for several years. And I was in wound care for 5 years. And so dealing with skin. So I'm very familiar with the whole, you know, the organ that is skin. But aesthetics is totally different. And so and it's a totally different style of what we do. So that has been my learning curve. But I also had used ZO for like 6 months before I got hired. That was part of the reason I was like really interested in the job, because the previous position I had, I was like doing great. I loved it. Everything was awesome. But then I found out that ZO was hiring for this spot, and I was like, because I love their line. It's amazing. Once you go ZO, you don't go back. It's just, yeah. So yeah.
I got it from you too.
Yep, I was saying.
Well,
and that's
you to Cammy to me, but I love it.
Middleman. Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Quarantine lockdown, I was on YouTube trying to learn all kinds of, like, that's the time I took to like learn better makeup skills, better skincare, because my skin was terrible during lockdown, and just having unhealthy like hormone levels and everything, which people don't understand. But the ZO products are like the acne kit that I got from you was just really good.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And it's all medical grade. And it's just, you're not going to get anything better. I swear. Everybody's like, oh, I use, stuff at Sephora and I use this. And I'm like, no. Like, this stuff is like, it's legit. So, and everybody that's ever tried it, it's like, yep, I'm good. Never going back. So
definitely. I just wish it was a little easier to find. I don't know. Yeah. Do you guys have like certain retailers and everything that's like sell it?
So, all you need to do is go onto the website and then put in your zip code, and then bring up all the doctors that sell it. And then you can click on them and buy it online. That's all you
through their website, probably.
Yeah. They have what's called their professional store. And literally just go on the website, look at who's in your zip code, pick one of the doctors, click on their name, and then you order whatever you want.
Oh, and then it gets shipped to them?
It ships to you.
Oh, perfect.
Great. But it has to go through the physician. It has to go through them, in the sense that you have to order from their site. You can't just, go on like eBay or, Amazon or something and order it. Okay. So, yeah.
That's good to know, because that part was kind of confusing me whenever I was trying to go on there and try to figure out how to order more. I wasn't sure if I just called or how to go to the store, or to the doctor, like a store.
Consultation or something. You're like, do I have to get checked out? Like, what's going on? Yeah.
It's like, there's places that are close, but like not close enough where I'm like, well, it would be a special trip.
Yeah. No, it's easy. Just go on their store. You can get it.
And that's like a big thing. I feel like skincare is such a hot topic right now, especially in the bodybuilding and all over the board. Everybody's trying to get their skin to look a little better, and it's a process.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, and I think that, there's obviously, it's just like diet. There's so misleading there's so much misleading information out there, and marketing, and expensive products that don't do anything, and all these gimmicks, just like diets. That's what very similar to nutrition, skincare is, in terms of how it's marketed. So everybody wants a simple approach. Everybody wants, this one step or whatever it happens to be, or this one product, but it's just not how it works. Yeah. So yeah.
Just like bodybuilding, I just feel like you said, there's a diet, and then, we got cardio that, like, you have to do all of it for a final package, or even with skincare. Food helps, just getting your hormones checked if you're someone who doesn't even know what their hormone levels are like.
I think that, I know this is something that comes up all the time, but, a lot of times I'll get women specifically about their hormones. They'll reach out to me. There's just a lot of coaches out there that will put women on anything. And unfortunately, people want to trust that coach. And then unfortunately, they don't understand what comes with it. And so I've had to do a lot of rehabilitation for a lot of hormones for women. So
it's more common than not now. I follow a lot of coaches that are preaching it and that are even trying to educate themselves more, and just realize that, like, the women, like, our bodies are so complex, and I just don't feel like obviously like men have been bodybuilding a long time and women too, but for the most part, men, I don't see them having all these hormone imbalances as much, because if they take
Well,
yeah.
yeah, their hormones, I mean, understanding that they have 11 times more testosterone than we do, you know, that's the main hormone that's going to make up their body. Whereas we have estrogen, progesterone, we have a little bit of testosterone, we have all of these different combating hormones, and they all want to balance themselves. And so if you sit there and you try to, I'm going to say, infiltrate with a bunch of testosterone like some women are doing, or any of these other compounds that are just going to, for the most part, freak out their system and make them up their estrogen levels or their progesterone levels, I mean, then you're just in for it. Acne, all sorts of excessive water retention, anything like that. There's a lot. So sadly, I've had to help with a lot of that with many women.
And again, it's a cycle. Like, you go on and you come off, like you give your body a break, you let your skin heal. And that's the part where I think if people aren't educated on it and they just kind of like go with it, and then they get all the, side effects, they're like, oh crap.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is I tell everyone, you need to ask your coach why. Like, if so, or for any, and it doesn't just go with gear, but you need to be able to ask your coach why he or she is doing something, and they should be happy to give you any answer, so that, because this whole process is, for instance, me as a coach, is I'm educating my client on how their body works. Okay. I'm not trying to like keep it from them and just tell them what to do. I don't want them to be dependent on me. I want to teach them and educate them. This is how your body works. This is what's going on. This is what we've understood, analyzed about it, so that they can lead a better life. That's what this is all about. Lifestyle or prep. But yes, even gear should be the most minimal aspect of it. Most minimal. And people should peak out naturally before bringing that in.
Less is more.
Yes, less is definitely more. So yeah.
And if you want to get into competing, I just feel that, there's a whole journey that you can figure out, and your body is going to be different than other people. So figure it out on your own. And then gear is almost like a supplement, like add it when you need it. You don't need it all year round. You don't, like, there's a time and a place.
I always say the pyramid. You have the diet's going to be the most important part. You have your training and cardio, and then at the very top you have supplementation.
A little bit of on top.
Yeah, it's just for tweaks, just little tweaks. Not going to change your physique like that. That's not what it's for. So, and if you have a coach that's relying heavily on that to do that, it's not good.
No. And you're right. Having a coach that you can talk to is really important. Someone who you just vibe with too. Like, I've had coaches that just didn't work out, and then I realized that, it's not that they were a bad coach. It's just their style wasn't meant for me. I didn't like how they talked.
That's exactly the way I put it to everyone. And I always tell people when they show interest in working with me, I say, ask me the questions you have. What are you for? What type of coach do you want? What kind of communication do you need? Because some people are like, screw off. I don't want to talk to you all the time. Some people are like, I'm super needy. I need to be able to text you. It's so, you have to find a good balance with a coach. And, if you aren't able to ask those questions and get what you want, then don't spend your money on this coach. Find somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a good investment.
Going back to like your shows and everything too, I did want to ask like about posing routines, since you said that you do posing coaching too. Now, do you do in bodybuilding, you have to have like an actual routine, right? Like the actual like a solo round with like a choreography.
They twirl around. Yes. We do twirl around. Yes.
So how do you pick a song and everything? Do you enjoy that part, having like the artsy part of it?
I do. I'm very artsy. I'm like a jack of all trades. I'm very weird like that. But I was actually in high school, I was in all of the plays and musicals. Like, I was super, like, I love the stage. And so when it comes to picking routines and songs, I like slower songs, but with beats, very solid beats. Because I do like to do a lot of transition and then punching poses hard. I feel like a lot of people like downplay the posing when it's like the most important part. How you present yourself is the most important part. And people are like, no, man, I'm just going to get shredded as crap and just show up and it's going to be great. But they don't know they don't know their angles. They don't know the illusion to create. They don't know how to make themselves look 3D. They don't know how to do all that stuff. So for me, that's something I'm super passionate about. And, I love, choreographing routines. I work with all divisions except for men's physique. For some reason, I just can't do it. I don't know. It's weird.
The little stir the pot pose.
Yeah, I can't. It's just weird. And I look and like the other divisions I can do without a problem, but I always feel weird when I do men's physique. I'm like, I'm not doing it. So
yeah, I understand. It's a weird stance. Like I know exactly what you're talking about. When I look at my friends,
short and everything. So maybe I just can't pull it off. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No reason.
Well, that's good that you said that you can help with that choreography and stuff, because I have seen people that look for people to help with that part, because I don't know what it is. I think there's some posing coaches that know how to do like the mandatories, but then when it comes to like a full out like dance routine, they're like, oh, I don't know. So
yeah, a lot of it able to make it flow and the transitions and everything. A lot of people aren't as comfortable. So,
and I've noticed a few people. I mean, like Dana Lynn Bailey and stuff, she's always said that she just kind of like picks a song and just goes with it. Teresa Vanskik, I think that's how you say her last name. She's the same way. She just kind of goes on stage with a song and just kind of goes with it. And I guess I can see in a way, if you're good at the posing and you know what shots that you're going to want to just throw in there with the song. But
yeah. I mean, some people really, that's just the best for them. They don't like to stress over it. And like, I think some people, it's more stressful to like have a routine and try to remember it than just going up there and showing off what you got. So it just depends, whatever you like.
And for suits, looks like you like green.
Yeah.
I love green suits.
So it's so funny. Green is totally my color, especially prejudging. I have a tendency to wear green for prejudging, and then usually the night show I have a different color suit, and I make my suits.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been making suits?
Since 2014, because I realized I'm like, I'm not going to spend all this money when they don't fit me right. Like, it was so frustrating. I had somebody making my suits in 2014 and they just fit so off. Like, I didn't like the bottoms were super big, they kept falling down. It was like such a mess. And so I was through this, and I had known how to sew for forever, so I was like, I can do that. I can totally do that. So
another thing on your list.
I think I'm stubborn, and I'm like, I can totally do this. It's the same thing with cars.
You are a car person, huh?
Yeah. So I work on my own car and everything. And, Jesse, my ex, he and I were like, we always worked on cars and everything. So I've picked up so much, and we're still good friends. And so sometimes like he'll talk to me about some of the projects I'm working on. But I get in over my head a little bit, but I'm so stubborn that I'm like, I can totally do this. It's fine. So
I do love that. You don't see too many people in the cars anymore, at least unless they're like full blown into it. But like I like German engineering. But then, when I see people that put a lot of like they just have a passion with the cars, because you have a Mustang, right?
I do. I have a G350, and then I have a BMW 335i. So I'm working on that right now, and that's a twin turbo. It's another fast one. So it's really fun.
That is so much fun. I miss that about like, I don't put as much effort into cars anymore just because bodybuilding takes all my time and money. But I do miss having a nice turbo, maybe an air cooler on the Volkswagen, and just.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Because I'm doing a dual cone air intake for the BMW, and I'm also tuning it So it's going to be about another 130 horsepower on top of, it's like 300 stock. So it's going to be pretty zippy. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Sounds like it, and you took a bomb ass photo shoot with it, man.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, my photo shoot, I mean, you guys will see, but I have another really cool, did you see my story? And I'm wearing toe shoes.
I don't think I've seen if it was today.
No, a few days, maybe a week ago. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm going to do some really cool photography tomorrow. It's totally out of my comfort zone. But again, I'm like, hey, that just kind of sounds cool. I'm just going to go. So
yeah, get some pictures. Yeah. And what, your show's in like 2 weeks too. So get you really motivated. And plus, at least it's Florida. At least it's warm there.
I mean, is it nice there right now? I don't even know.
Well, there was like a tropical storm, but I'm sure it'll be gone by.
Florida's weird, man. Florida's so, like, I've traveled a lot with the softball and work, and I tell you, every time I go to Florida, they have some random like rainstorm, and then it's 100 degrees out after. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't understand, but it is nice that, I mean, not a lot of places are open because of COVID, but somehow Florida was like, hey,
open. It's like, screw it, we're fine.
And it's nice here. It'll be fine. We can party.
Totally fine. Disregard. Take the masks off, everyone.
Everybody's still going to Disney. Disney's the only thing keeping us alive.
If I had more time there, I'd sneak over, but
yeah. So that's good. So you're just going to go for a couple days. Is it on a Friday or Saturday, or what's the schedule?
Oh, it's a 2-day show. So prejudging will be on Friday, and then finals will be on Saturday night. So it'll be my first 2-day show, which are, I mean, I guess we'll find out. It's a little bit challenging with water depletion and everything. So we'll see what Shelby has in mind.
Yeah,
I'm going to get,
I said that will be interesting, because you said, you know, like me, where you like hold on to a lot of water. So it's almost like you got to like stay calm.
Yeah. Just chill. Yeah. I'll be there. I'll leave on Tuesday before the show. So I'll have plenty of time in case I get any sort of water retention from the flight. So
yeah, you got a longer one for most people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'd be interesting. I got it mixed up with Universe, because that's like next week or something like that, and that's in Charleston.
I'm so confused by all the shows now, like, because they're all out of order. And one of my clients, Paige, is doing USA's, and it's like 3 weeks after my show.
And they moved that back to Vegas.
I know, and it's confusing. So confusing. And it's another 2-day show. So
yeah, because
I'm going to try to go for her.
I mean, if you want to hit a bunch of national shows, it works out great if you're able to just kind of
around. And I think they have Masters Nationals too, somewhere in there. I have no idea.
They might, because I feel like that's Florida too.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in Florida or thereabouts anyways anymore. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, a lot going on. Hey,
almost the end of the year, and you'll be into the holidays, and it don't really stop, but
I'm trying to decorate Christmas right now. I'm like, screw it, let's get through this. Let's do it.
Mom said, "Prep, I need to do stuff." Like, stay busy.
Happy, and you know, it's gonna be great. Let's get over with 2020 already.
So. Oh, we're almost there.
Oh, almost there.
I don't know how much will change, but I'm hoping for the best, because like I'm getting ready for the Arnold, and I've already heard people like, oh, like, what if the Arnold gets canceled? I'm like, well, to be honest, somebody will have a show.
Someone somewhere. I will.
Somebody will. I mean, hell, like Pittsburgh made North Americans work, and Pennsylvania isn't as, like, Ohio's sucking real bad, but I'm like, hey, Pennsylvania made it work, and if I end up doing like the Pittsburgh Championship, that's not as big as North American. So if they made that happen, they can make something else happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything will be fine. There's always another show. It's fine.
If I go to travel, I'll make it work, because clearly a ton of other people like you made it happen this year. You guys traveled to your show, did the work.
Yeah. I'm glad you want it. You know, just keep fighting the good fight. That's what it comes down to.
Just stay positive. I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
So just because I love asking this question on all of my episodes, when's your birthday?
When is my birthday? So I want you to first try to guess what sign I am first.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to know what your sign is. Like, I'm sure you get this all the time, but you've got the Leo look, you know, with the hair.
No, you're not wrong about the sun. You're not wrong about the fire.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're definitely a fire of some sort, maybe like an Aries.
I'm a Sag.
Oh,
so, yeah, I'm a crazy Sag, which crazy that
so your birthday's coming up.
I know it's coming up. It's gonna be great.
Woo!
Yeah, got to prep. Thank goodness. Woo!
Oh, right? Yeah, and yeah, what we got? I can't believe it. Just thinking about how we're at the end of the year is just crazy to me too.
Well, it's funny because it feels like it's blown by, but then it also feels like 7 years since March. So like for me, it's like crazy.
Yeah, like literally like this time last year, I was getting ready because I went to Japan last year this time. And I'm just like, I feel like I was just there in Japan. Like how
What's happening? Twilight Zone. Okay, I feel like 2020, we got some sort of fucking Twilight Zone shit happened. Okay, something's off. Okay, somebody put us into warp speed or something. I don't know what's going on. Or like got, I don't know, somebody dropped some drugs on us or something. I have no idea, but
it was those aliens they found.
Yes, I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't even know. I feel like Matrix. Like maybe we're all just like, this isn't even real. I don't know. So
it's hard to tell, man.
yeah, it's weird. So weird. But anyways, we're almost through it, so it's all good. Hopefully.
Well, I will bring that to the end of the show. I've had you on for over 45 minutes and I appreciate your time. I know you are quite the busy woman and I love it and I respect it.
Yes, of course. Of course. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, anytime. Absolutely.
And good luck with the show. I know we're going for the pro card.
Yes.
I would love to see you on the Miss Olympia stage at some point.
That's going to happen.
I know.
We'll see.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Thank you, and have a great night and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. I had such a good time. You have a fantastic night.
Thank you. Bye.